Hello, welcome to this week's How's the Market, Pensacola. Well, if you're not into rentals, you should be. I actually just picked up my latest rental last week and wound up putting it on the market Sunday. So as I'm shooting this is Monday the 19th. I put it on the market Sunday about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. By 5 o'clock in the afternoon, I had 17 applications. I hadn't even shown the property yet. But I had over 48 requests to see it. So we think the market is bad out here for sales. There's a lack of inventory for sales. Rentals are crazy right now. As an investor, it's something you really should be looking at. I've talked to a lot of people about how to use rentals to pay for college. I've talked to a lot of people about how to use rentals to pay for investment property. I don't think there's a better way, in my opinion, to grow wealth than inside of real estate and rental properties out. Now, I know the bad part. Everybody's like, well, what about, going to get the call at 2 o'clock in the morning with the toilet? There's ways to mitigate that. There just is. There's ways to mitigate that. And right now, the rental market is so strong, and there's nothing pointing to that going down anytime soon because we are creating some jobs here. Some of the stuff that I've seen, though, is actually our area is so well sought after, and now that people are actually working remote, I've seen a study that come in that said in the Panhandle, Pensacola to about Destin, you're seeing a lot of folks from Chicago move in. So we're seeing some folks from Chicago move in, live here, but they work remotely, especially since Pensacola Regional, or I guess it's Pensacola International now. I don't know. If it's Comic-Con, if it's Pensacon, it's Pensacola Intergalactic, whatever it is. The airport's got that direct flight to Chicago, I think twice a day now. So we're starting to see some people move into here. Some of them are renting, some of them are buying. But I tell you what, I don't see any issues in the rental market anytime soon. We just have an influx of people, and a lot of times people want to stay here and rent for a year or 2 or 3. Some of my rental properties, the same tenant's been in there 7 years. 7 years. Great tenants. It works out good. And I know that you can talk the bad stuff, but I promise you the good outweighs it all the way around. So if you're not using that as part of your portfolio, even with these prices right now, there are things out there still available that make sense as long as you have the right strategy to get to it. If you haven't ever thought about that or hadn't considered using that as part of your portfolio, some people don't know you can buy rentals and real estate inside of your retirement account. That's another option too. So if you haven't thought about any of that, give me a shout. But let's get on to our actual 2 counties and check out this week's inventory. Well, I tell you what, sometimes those retirement accounts may look better in real estate because you see the Dow. I'm sitting here looking at the Dow right now, down 800 points. I know the stock market's actually pulling way back because of the Delta variant. I'm not going to go into all that. You can watch some other news for that. Right now, let's talk about our 2 counties and our inventory levels. Let's go. All right, if you've never seen the show, you don't know that I always start with this slide right here. It says if we have between 6 and 7 months worth of inventory, we have a neutral market. Anything greater than 7 months considered a buyer's market. Anything less than 6 months considered a seller's market. What the slide doesn't say is anything greater than 9 months considered a hyper buyer's market. Anything less considered a hyper seller's. We jump over to Escambia County just like last week. We added a few properties, but the demand is still so high that everything is a hyper seller's market. And just like last week when someone said, hey, the luxury says 3 months. That's in orange. That's not in red. So it's not a hyper seller's market. You are correct. According to our definition, anything under 3 months is considered a hyper seller's. This is at 3 months. I would not change the listing strategy or the buying strategy for any price point in Escambia County this week. So just like that first slide, when I said neutral market, seller's market, buyer's market, hyper buyer's market, hyper seller's market, there are seller strategies that match each one of those markets. There's also buyer strategies that match each one of those markets. I would be using the hyper sellers for both strategies in Escambia County this week. We jump over to Santa Rosa County, and their inventory has actually gone down some. This was 3.6 months. The luxury was 3.6 months, if I remember correctly last week. It's down to 3.2. Everything else still a hyper seller's market. We still have nothing under 50,000. Only 3 properties active under 100,000 in Santa Rosa County. And some of those are land. Some of those is actual just land. And then we've got, 250 to 300,000, there's 31 active. 350,000 to 400,000, there's 30 active. Those are your bigger points. Your 150 to 200,000, which was what a lot of people consider your first-time homeowners. If you're a first-time home buyer and you're trying to get it, there's only 7 active. So, still very, very, very low inventory. And I don't see much changing because even with the rates creeping up a little bit, the demand's still there. If you're looking at doing anything now, would actually be a really good time. I know I talked at the beginning of the show about renting stuff out. If you're in the rental business, cool. I do not manage properties as of right now. I've thought about adding that as an arm of our organization, but as I'm recording this video in July of 2021, I don't manage any properties. The only properties I manage are my own. And even that, I have some people to help me out with that. So talk with a good rental management company. If you haven't talked with anybody, give me a shout. I've got a couple that I could recommend and walk you through, what you do, what the 5-year play is, what the 7-year play is on some of these rentals. And sometimes you need just a 5-year play on this property to roll it to a different one. I know that President Biden's been talking about removing the 1031 exchange for certain price points. But I don't think it's impacting too much here in our area just yet. It may in the future, but right now I don't see that happening at all. And the current tax code is very pro real estate investor. You get a lot of deductions that way. Anyways, the other thing I wanted to chat about real quick as we're ending it, I'm making it a real quick show this week, was the instant offer program that we've done. I had 2 calls this week because title was an issue. They said, listen, I have no idea how to fix this. It was one property was inherited, so they thought. But since it wasn't opened up to probate, and there were some other issues on the property, they could not sell it. Now, just so everybody understands, I am not an attorney. I do not practice law, okay? But I understand the process enough, and I have enough connections to where I can get you in front of the right person to actually get these fixed. It's going to take some time, but I see that they were having to do that. They were in kind of a bind financially. The one couple I'm thinking about right now, they were in a bind and needed some help. So the instant offer actually made a ton of sense. Another offer that came in last week, property has been vacant since 2011. It's been vacant for a decade. Has multiple code enforcement liens on it, all kinds of issues with the property. And they said, well, you said on the show that you do instant offers on any type property, any condition. I do. I did. They are ecstatic on what they're able to get with the property. And I've just got the team that can help that. So instant offers, pretty much we offer on any property at any time. I will give you an offer within 24 hours. And sometimes people have been calling me. I had 2 other couples that I'm going to be listing their property because they called me on the instant offer and said, listen, I want to take a look at the instant offer. And we sat down and I found out what they were trying to accomplish, what they wanted to get done. And once I found that out, I'm like, I don't think the instant offer would work. I think I can get you the number you're wanting. I can't do that as an instant offer, but I'm fairly confident I can do that as a real estate broker for you. So sometimes the instant offer gives you a good baseline. Hey, this is the baseline. If we can get more and we have the time, and we do the repairs, then cool. That actually can help work things out. If not, well, then we've got the instant offer baseline always in the back of our head. So it's a good way to test the market with knowing a floor. Hey, this is a bottom line, but this is really what I wanted to get for it. And that's what these 2 couples would. And I think I'm going to get them that. I don't think we're going to need to use an instant offer program. I think we just evaluated it for a good baseline. Now we're actually going to get them back on the market there. Because look at these inventories. It's a little nuts right now. Anyways, that's it. Like I said, quick show this week. Stay dry if you can. Because my goodness, it's been thundering and lightning and raining. And I'm feeling like we're in monsoon season around here. It's a little more than the typical summer rainstorms to me. Anyways, I don't know. Thanks for watching. Have a great week. I'm a man on a mission. My mission is to help people break through all the noise out there and don't need no permission. I want to help you get to actual truth. Don't you just want the truth?